Hello, everybody, and I would love to welcome Zach Betka, the writer on Valorant, who has been just amazing with everything that has to do with Raze. Welcome, welcome.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. I love that you do these. I've been tuning in. Super stoked to be here.
God, look, we love you, Zach. Zach, we're grateful for the creation of Valorant. I love all these comments.
It makes me, I am emotional on a daily basis, and these are not helping my emotional state. So the community is incredible. It's been so incredible. Can we curse on the stream or no?
Dude, do whatever you want. You're my
fucking
boss.
rewarding. I am, no. Oh, no, please.
So do you play Valorant a lot? Who do you main?
Oh my God. I play Valorant a lot. It is hard being hot trash at your own game. It's very frustrating. I grew up actually playing League of Legends for I think a decade at this point. And so then for when I first came to write, I was on League of Legends as the narrative lead, and it felt so good to be in those play tests.
Oh my
and
God.
own. So on Valorant, I love playing it. It takes a lot of concentration. I think if you've seen or you've played. But
dude, I want to shoot myself every time I play.
It's very like Overwatch is like, it's an arcade shooter. We're having so much fun. You can be like riddled with bullets and be fine, right? Mercy's got you. Whereas in Valorant, you like your doorbell rings and you look to the door and you're dead, right? It's a very highly validated game.
So it's even harder.
It's so hard.
Oh, shoot me in the head. I can't handle it. I can't.
When I do play, who are my mains? Viper, voiced by the incredible Ashley Birch. Just because like she can set her team up for success. She doesn't have to be in these headshots. Love her to pieces. I play Raze a lot. One, because I love your performance.
Are you really? You're just saying that now?
No, I here's the reason is because Raze is really good at like flushing the enemy, right? Like she's very like, even her ult voice line, "Here comes the party," right?
Here comes the party.
Right, when that plays, like the meme is like, you're a badass until you hear "Here comes the party." Everyone scatters, and then my better players can just
scatter. I learned that one. Sorry, I'm geeking out because now I'm understanding all of the when things happen, which took me a while with Overwatch.
Yeah, but your voice line that plays globally, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, time to run or die."
I love it.
Actually, so I think what's really funny, whenever we're in the sessions together and there are words in Portuguese, I always mute my mic and I whisper them to myself because I want to try to be able to say them, but my accent is so bad. I'll be like, I'll mute my mic and I'll be like, obrigado, and then like unmute and be like, "Hey, that was a really good take. Thank you so much."
Okay. So you said this in our previous interview, and that was a moment that cracked me up when you're like, obrigado.
I can't even do it in a normal voice though. I can't be like, obrigado. Like it's like I have to make fun of myself.
You could just go obrigado.
Obrigado.
Yeah. Oh, they're asking why we redid some Raze lines. Did you feel obligated to make it as Portuguese as possible? Thank you, Treasy Strom. Yes, Zach, let's talk about it.
I mean, make it as Brazilian as possible, right? Actually, I don't know if you want to take it first from me, but absolutely, right? It was a really important thing for us to be like, we are committed to this point of view, right? And when the game is going, we're recording like these at that time, like 11 at once. So it's really good to bring Natalia back in with you and just like tweak a little bit, and it was actually really great because your performance was so good that we just matched that, right? And we put it in, but it really came from you though. You're the one that pushed for authenticity. You're like, "Hey guys, I really want to crush this." So I thank you so much. That was really cool.
I knew going in, I speak Portuguese, but it's not perfect. And I wanted Brazilians to feel properly represented. So that's why I don't do Raze in Brazilian Portuguese. I do not. She's somebody else. But, I felt like I wanted the Brazilian. There was some slack from certain Brazilians going, the accent isn't perfect. So I asked to re-record some lines if we could, and we tried to do those. So Zach, what are some of your favorite voice lines from each agent? You've written them all. Like, what do you feel gives you joy? Like triple baby.
They're Breach and Brimstone are good boys, and Brimstone really is turning into this wonderful, like, I call him the mom of the house, right? Like he's the one that's just like, he's in charge of all of Valorant. He's the one that probably like cooks breakfast for everybody. Like, hey, rise and shine. He tells the jokes. He's turning into a really wonderful guy. So anyway, my favorite voice lines.
You like the check. It's batteries checked, something checked. The explosives never enough. I don't even know.
It was like explosives check, something check, brakes nowhere in sight.
Nowhere in sight. Yeah.
I think what's funny is that like what we decided during the session was that Raze is bad at telling jokes. She's not funny.
Yes,
and so that was, and so like every time that like you told it, if we had a jokey line, you performed it really well, and then we were like, no, she has to be really dorky. She has to really flub this delivery, it's like that you could take the girl out of Salvador, but you can't. What? It's so good. I love that line.
But you know that one happened by mistake, right, Zach?
Yeah.
Obviously, you had written the line properly. You can take a girl out of Salvador, but you can't take Salvador out of a girl. That's how it should go. And I was reading the line and I'm like, you can take the girl out of Salvador, but you can't take oh God, I don't know. And then they were like, that kind of works. Let's do it again.
The first line of that rewrite that I wrote was make sure to dance at my funeral. And when I wrote that, I was like, that's Raze. That is her, right? And taking that idea and pushing it throughout the entire script, right? She's loud and excited because yes, it's who she is, but because everybody around her is playing with life and death, and she knows that she's to keep them up, right? She's the engine, she's the heart.
I just imagine, I've said this before, I've imagined a female version of Lucio, bombastic, high energy, all this stuff, a little Junkratty because we're exploding some shit, but not this like open-hearted motherly figure sometimes, because I just thought, she's young and she's gonna explode some shit, but she's not like Anna, who's like, let me create community and take care of my pups. And as soon as David was kind of explaining that Raze was a little bit more that, and that she was very feminine in some things and then also very masculine, or just whatever, gender neutral in other ways, I got teary-eyed because I have felt like Carolina's always been trying to figure out, like, I'm a lady sometimes and I'm a dude sometimes. And I don't consider myself gender neutral, but I do love I feel like I'm very both sides of things. I love being a tomboy sometimes, and I love wearing a dress and heels other times. And I feel like as people, we can be those things, and we can have a little testosterone and a little estrogen, and it's all like this happy family. And so I felt like Raze understood me and you guys understood Raze. And so we were understanding it all. And I felt like, oh my God, this is me, more than Sombra. Like, I feel like Raze's personality, she's loud, but that kind of fun vibe that I feel like I just love showing up and feeling like I want to hug everybody. That's what and I think that we can be spiky and thorny in some places and also really loving and generous and charismatic in other places. And so that's where, Raze isn't just for Brazilians. She's for the person who feels like that, Brimstone and Omen, like they're people. You can be from whatever country and connect to the personality of which I connected to Raze with who she is and her essence more than where she's from, even though I want Brazil to adopt me. Because I'm obsessed with Brazilian culture and people and language and music and food. But, so that's
actually why I love Sage. So Sage is a really special agent for me, voiced by the incredible Naomi. But the reason why I like Sage is because Sage, to me, if we talk about like motherly or parental, that is Sage. And I wrote Sage as somebody who needs you to be the best version of yourself. Like her resurrect line is, your duty's not over. Like, get up, fight, let's do it. You're better than this. And to me, that is love. That's like somebody being like, I know you're better than you are right now. Let's get in here. I am right by your side. If we die, we die together. And in my perspective, that's a little more, to me, that's more authentically paternal than the sort of like, oh, can I kiss your boobies? Even though like boo-boos. Yikes. I meant like, so I had owies and I have boo-boos, and then combined, I'm just gonna be arrested. Wait, that's not the motherly perspective to you.
Oh my God, you are so funny. This is amazing. For a second, I'm like, where is he going with the boobies?
Dude, the thing is, like, I think my mom is watching this stream. I'm so sorry, Mary Frances.
Rewind.
So anyway, my personal writing process is for every one of the characters, I have a single song that I play on repeat. I find a song.
Shut the front door.
Yeah, I have one song that to me is like, yes, that's the character. And so like when I was writing Raze, I listened to this one song for 8 hours cumulatively over just on repeat on Spotify.
Is it Sergio Mendes?
I don't know that, but if you give it to me later. I honestly found this like buried YouTube video that was like 4 hours long of like Salvador by Carnival
so cool.
music.
Yeah.
And I was like, this seems great. So listen to that. Like, let's say I was writing a line for you and Jet, right? Just hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes.
Hypothetically, let's say I was writing a line for you and Jet. I would say like, what do I want? It's like writing fan fiction, right? Like, what do I want them to be? They exist. We did all that work. We have the talent for them. What do I want them to do? What's working with the community? I'm like, well, Jet and Raze both are powerful young women who, almost like in the face of conformity, say, no, fuck you. I am stronger than you. I'm faster than you. Let's do it. Right. And so like that's what they both share. So they'd probably love that. There'd be a lot of respect between them, even though like Raze has done some stuff in the past and Jet, you know, they're on two sides of the world. They both would be like, hey, this chick. Right. And so like I'd probably say, what would I want them? I'd want them to have a relationship. I want them to have a friendship. So the line would probably be like, Jet, finally somebody likes to party. Let's get some drinks after this, would be the line that I would write. Like, and I could just, right, and then like I play it in my head as you, and watch. This is gonna be me being you, being Raze, right? So in my mind, I hear like, Jet, finally somebody likes to party. Let's get drinks after this. So it's kind of
Jet, finally someone who likes to party. Let's get a drink after this.
I think we have, how many voice lines do we have? Like over 1,000, maybe like 1.8k voice lines. We have all these maps. There is backstory, there's lore, there's hints, there's futures.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I really like, right? It's kind of like I call it the lost polar bear. Like, why is there a polar bear on this island? And I don't know, but it's interesting, right? So we kind of like, we build it together from there. Viper comes from a history that has done a lot to her. And in some ways it's been negative, in some ways I don't want to say it's been positive, but she is a function of her past. Everybody is, but for her specifically.
Absolutely.
And she is just this, like, you know, when I'm writing new content for her, you can always have somebody kind of disengage, but for her, she is 2 feet in. She is like, I am fighting. I am in it. I will never give up, and that feels really good to me. Also, she's so much fun to write. Oh my god! I don't know if you have seen her voice lines, but she's just like this like sassiest woman that is just such a joy. Because there are 2 agents that like I never thought they'd be friends, and then I was writing, funny. I was like, no. I'm like, no, this really works.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Oh, Reyna and Breach. Right. And so to me, because like they are both people who are like unapologetic, they crush in, and they're okay being the bad guy a little bit. And so I was like, oh, there's a relationship here. And in my mind, I'm like, why is that? Because of the backstory, where they came from. So I think like anybody in the chat, like when you are asking why are these agents similar to the either other agents in the game or different games, it's kind of like, but why? And that's exciting, right? What's the similarity?
Twice they've asked about the voice line about the you were a boulder, I am a mountain, you're a boulder, I'm a mountain, that Sage says. Can you elaborate on that?
Oh, sure. For that one, I was like, it's okay for her to feel herself, and everyone else can just catch up. So to me, that's kind of like, you thought you were strong, you were just a little rock, I'm the entire mountain. You son of a bitch, sit down. Is kind of what that line is. The line plays, I believe, when Sage kills the MVP of the enemy team. So she's saying like, you thought you were hot shit. Nah.
A musical for Valorant? Oh my god.
I actually, so much of our voice cast can sing. And so like my secret dream is like, let's get a music video with our voice actors.
Dude,
again, that's Zach Betka. That is not in any way relevant. I have such a weakness for singing. It's got to happen. I also love just me, my squadzinho, and a few tons of dynamite. That one, I love that.
I love how you do Raze. It's me, my squadzinho, and a few tons of dynamite. I think I sound like a freaking Mexican leprechaun if those exist.
So sorry.
Can I say a Raze voice line in a robot voice?
Here comes the party.
Beep, boop, beep. Boom. What about shipping characters? Do you feel like you will? Someone asked about the two characters in League of Legends. That would you ever write like a storyline of characters together like that? I forget their names. They'll pop up somewhere. But do you? I know that like all the fans ask us who we ship, and I just let them ship people. But in game, do you feel like you'll start maybe slightly shipping people, or that's something that you guys don't really mess with?
I think again, it depends on where the community wants to take it, right? We never want to create art that is not what the demographic is excited about, right? We'll take an example, like, does the, and I'm sure people in chat will be like, yeah, totally, but it's a real question. Does the Valorant community want to read short stories, right? If between like,
yes, I do. Yes, I do.
Right. They totally, sure. Like, I think like a really excited portion of them will, but between like putting my energy into writing a short story versus putting my energy into making sure a map tells a good story, where do I put that energy?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like, do I want to tell more stories? Absolutely. I really wrote these characters.
Yeah.
I don't know if you saw Raze's Bible, but we write pages upon pages of like who these characters are, because we talked about all of it. So like,
show me the Bible.
Right. And so like we write so much content for these characters that a small little portion of them, everybody knows Raze, but they know Raze in combat. Right. There's so much more to Raze that nobody's seen yet.
So thank you, Zach Betka, for coming on. He's the writer of Valorant, if y'all missed that. Thank you guys. I like to say keep booming and booping, because boop, sending you all love.